Climate change is real. Climate change is real. Climate change is real. Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today I'm going to be talking about March of the Penguins 2, The Call. March of the Penguins 2, The Call is a 2017 Hulu exclusive documentary about emperor penguins in Antarctica. It is directed by Luc Jacquet, cinematography by Jerome Bouvier, editing by Charlene, Revel, Wyatt Jones, and Ange-Marie Revel, music by Cyril Auffour. It's written by Billy Kimball and Luc Jacquet. It's narrated by Morgan Freeman, and it is a sequel to March of the Penguins, which was originally released by National Geographic, which is why I never covered the original. Absolutely breathtaking. Are we kidding? Some of these close-ups are insane. Some of the shots with the sunsets, just some of the shots underwater. Unbelievable. So gorgeous. This is what I'm talking about. Y'all, this was a dang documentary, okay? I learned so freaking much. And it wasn't like, there was one moment that Morgan Freeman spoke for the Penguin, and it was right at the beginning. Like, he told me a lot of facts, and I was like, interesting. And then he did it one time, and we were like, uh-oh. But then he didn't do it again! Or if he did, it went completely unnoticed because I was getting so much actual information. I feel like all of these Disney nature documentaries lately have been a lot of just like, this is a pride, and we're gonna cover their journey, except it's all about like emotion and talking about, and not actual facts. I learned so much facts about penguins and everything going on. I'm gonna start listing them. But I don't have them memorized, so I'm just going to start listing them. This film came out 10 years after the first. From what I've never seen March of the Penguins. From what I'm gathering, this is really less a sequel and more a remake, and I'm guessing because it was 10 years later, they just like had a lot of better footage because of better camera improvements, and they just wanted to do it again. Fine by me. Penguins can live up to 40 years. They're a relative of the ostrich. They're flightless, which I knew, fins instead of like actual wings. They breed in the winter. They breed in an area 75 miles away from their home. They walk approximately 2 miles per hour, single file, which I know we all know, but still. Slow dancing is happening during their mating. They deal with winds over 100 miles per hour in the winter. They drink fresh snow. That's how they drink. It has to be fresh snow. So if it's not freshly snowing down there, they could die from thirst. Some males will give up the eggs if the elements get too crazy or if they get too thirsty or they start to starve. There's a special gland in their throat that creates like a milk for the babies, and it contains protein and fat, etc. And both the male and female can do that. Penguins have to march 10, 20, 50 miles to get to the ocean for food and back. Climate change, classic, messing up the ice down there so it can change their path all the time. They spend 3 weeks eating before they go back to the colony with full stomachs. Crazy. Only about half of the chicks make it to almost full grown, and then 1 in 10 make it to full grown adult, which is crazy. Emperor penguins could face extinction, classic. Not to wipe that away, but like, I was not surprised by that information. I feel like every creature, including humans, could face extinction soon. They tend to be around 4 feet and 100 pounds. There are like 600,000 penguins on Antarctica, and they'll like, be in a colony if the colony starts to get too big because they're, procreating. They'll break off into little suburbs and then eventually their own colonies, which is super cool. The mom leaves first, and then like once the baby is ready to go out on their own, then the father will leave as well. And so they might, like, if they ever see each other again, it would be as strangers, which is super sad. And then the emperor, male and female, they, like, maybe they would mate again, but, like, probably not. They, diverse species type stuff. And then the one that left wouldn't, like, try to find a mate and breed until they were 3 years old. Look at all this information I learned. I learned so much stuff. That is my favorite part. The fact that I, like, learned things about penguins and the way they survive and live, and they didn't assign some weird storyline. They didn't call them, like, here's mother. I think they just said, here's our hero, was the main guy, right? So, like, they didn't, oh my god, it was so nice. It was so nice. I loved that. My least favorite part was definitely, like, the egg almost not making it into the dad. It was like, they can't be on the ice for more than 30 seconds or the baby will die. That was stressful and suspenseful, and I did not like that. Recommend? Sure. Watch again? I don't know. Like, I would be curious to watch March of the Penguins to see if it is, like, the same. Because people are saying it's, like, more of a remake than a sequel. I'd be really curious to see that. Yeah, I'm just really happy it was, like, more traditional educational documentary. That was so nice. I was in it. I was in for it. Sign me up. Super interesting. Like, when I was learning all about, like, their feathers. Oh, I didn't read that part. Where was that? Oh, I just accidentally, oh my god, I accidentally skipped it. Feathers trap air to keep them warm and keep them buoyant when they're swimming. And then they have really dense bones because they can dive down to about 2,000 feet underwater. And they have really dense bones that, like, don't crush them. And then they also, their blood concentration of oxygen is higher, so they can last with that. And they can hold their breath for 20 minutes. Sorry, those were more facts I learned. I just somehow missed them. It's so good. So definitely give it a watch. I love a good documentary that's like that. That's everything I have. So my final rating is going to be 9 penguins, I guess, out of 10. Or total movie count is. Parent death toll and cry count are still the same. If you want to keep up with what movie I'm watching when, follow me on all socials to find out movie I'm watching when. I put up videos every Monday and Friday and sometimes Wednesday. Join Patreon. I got a tier starting at just $1. You get every video, week early, coupon code for merch, exclusive. No, they're still working on the coupon codes. I'm sorry. Tiers above that, you get daily trivia, monthly postcards, bonus content, names in the description of every video, etc. Buy merch. Merch is great. Merch is grand. It doesn't look like that there anymore. I just have a lot of the old shirts. Until next time, comment, like, subscribe, and I'm not in charge of your life. You are, so you, and don't be climate change about it. Save the earth. Save the earth. Save the earth. Save the earth. Save the earth.